As both a mother and nutritionist, I understand the challenge of finding tasty and wholesome snacks that the entire family will eat. I recommend Sensible Portions. They offer a large variety of tasty snacks that are cholesterol-free, contain zero trans fat, are perfect for dipping, and they're delicious. Visit cityline.ca for a chance to win $3,500 towards a new home gym.
Haines Celestial Canada wants you to embrace a healthy way of life. Presented by Cityline and Sensible Portions.
Please welcome Joey Schulman, Dr. Joey Schulman. Hello. Hello. You know, we're back to school, and as Marilyn was saying off the top of the show, dinner's a big concern, but so is that after-school snack when they get out of school and they could just eat the fridge. You know, they're really hungry, they've been thinking all day, and you want to give them something that's not going to completely deter their dinner, and it's going to be healthy for them, but that they're actually not going to, you know, want to check out the window.
For sure, and that 3 to 4 time zone is a really important zone because a lot of them are going to extracurricular, and we want to get them fueled properly. And so I just laid out a quick grab and go, because you're right, we're back at school, we're not going to be able to think soon, we're going to be so busy.
Right.
So, of course, I always have fruits and vegetables on the counter when they get home because they'll tend to grab it just while they're talking to me and telling me about their day.
Smart.
Whether it's grapes or cucumbers or carrots, they'll just do this, put some dips out with them as well.
Yeah.
They know they can move to more fun stuff if they have something live. That's my rule at home. I don't know if that works for other people. We got to eat something live, and then we can move to other sweet and savory foods.
Okay, that's good. But leaving it out is the big tip there.
Just leave it out.
Because they will. They'll just grab and nosh.
And even if they're going to have an applesauce, this is an organic applesauce. If it's a berry applesauce, I'm good with that. That's great.
Okay, good
now,
stuff.
What I've done is I've made a it's not a grain-free, a nut-free granola that they can take a trail mix to school with them. So all these can go to school. They're all nut-free.
Okay.
You know, someone offset, one of our producers here said, gummy bears and Joey?
There's gummy bears on the trail mix. Gummy bears, people.
But these are juice gummy bears. They're all naturally sweetened. You won't taste the difference. And these are dark chocolate chips.
Oh my gosh.
So they're delicious.
Where do you get juice-flavored gummy bears?
I bought them from my local health food store, any health food store.
Oh, I'm going to go find some.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
They're amazing. Now, these are fabulous, too, because these are yogurt-dipped pretzels, but they're Greek yogurt dipped, so they're higher in protein. And we have some spelt pretzels, air pop popcorn, cheesy rice crackers. So it's just stuff that they can nush on at home, and they'll fill up on good stuff.
Right.
We also brought in some fabulous, now these are the Sensible Portions. These are straws, they're veggie straws. I like these too because they give the kids crunch, and Jonah is a crunchy guy. He needs to feel satisfied. He has the crunch. Jonah's my son.
Yeah.
Not my boyfriend, he's my son. Trans fat free, they're free of artificial flavors, and you know, they're unbelievable. And so I pack these all in snacks. Now, I recommend buying a lot of this stuff because I find after week one I go, I have to go grocery shopping again.
I know.
Don't you find that?
Yes.
So just make your life easier because this stuff can stay longer. Of course you have to buy fresh once a week, but
for sure,
fill up in your cupboard so you're not running out to the grocery store every third day. I find that crazy.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Great snack ideas. Okay, we want to talk a little bit about household chores. It's funny, I was talking to the audience right before the show about the division of labor in households. And it's been a long time. There's been several women's rights movements and attempts at equality, but a lot of people say when it comes to your household, things are still very much the same. Now, women are working outside of the home, but they're still taking the brunt of the household chores. And we thought we would use you ladies as sort of a microcosm of what's happening in our country. So I'm going to start with you, Marjorie.
I'm not fair to start with Tracy.
Don't start with you?
Well, no.
Do you do anything at home?
I do.
Let me just start with that. Do you clean stuff?
I do. You know what?
Okay.
I'm crazy tidy, and so are my kids, and so is my partner. And then, but I work a lot, so I have a nanny who really is awesome.
Ivy.
Yeah,
I've met her. She really is awesome.
She's like, we're all addicted. Even my friends come over, they're addicted to Ivy. So,
I wanted to leave my kids with her.
I honestly, that was something that I struggled with, being a professional woman, business owner, doctor, doing 16 million things, and mother, that I have to relinquish control of some things, and so I have to be okay. The tidying was an easy one to relinquish, but I do not do the down dirt cleaning stuff, but I used to.
There's nothing wrong with getting help, though. I think if you've got the resources to do it, I think most people would want to be in that situation.
And I think that if you have a way that you want to live and that it's important for you to live that way for clarity, and that's what I need. My office is tidy, my house is tidy.
Right.
I need to be able to maintain that.
Yeah,
but it's nice that I live with a house of people, including my children, who tidy because I'm tidy.
Right. Good. Yeah, they've caught on to your craziness. That's what's happening in my house, too. So, Marilyn, how about you? How's the division go in terms of the household labor?
When Scott and I first got together, he didn't do a lot of things, and I was like, what the, like, he's lazy, and so.
Did you divorce him?
Yeah, no, the other two. Anyway, and so then one day I just said, would you mind doing that? And he said I was scared. He was scared to come into the kitchen and be in my way. And so we had this really interesting conversation between he and I, for men and women, and that we assume that they'll know what we want them to do. And I know this is really horrible, I'm going to say it, but the saying in our house is men are stupid and they stink. And so and I don't mean that in a really bad way. Like, well, we eat a lot of beans. Okay, that was why that came up. But anyway, it wasn't that they're stupid. It was that they didn't know what to do. And so what I've discovered with Scott, and because we've had great conversations, is that he needs me to ask him to do something so that he'd know. And then now he does that kind of stuff. But when we first got together, it was like, I'm not, and that's the other thing. Don't marry somebody who doesn't help, and it doesn't going to, because they're not going to change unless you've had that conversation. And so if that's going to be a big thing in your life, I mean, seriously, having been divorced, you got to have those kinds of conversations. Do you want to have children? Do you like doing dishes? Will you make dinner? Do you want to vacuum? Yesterday I wasn't feeling all that well, and I was lying on the couch, and Scott was vacuuming the house. And so that's, but yeah, it's great. So and teach your children. My son is a good cleaner. He is not going to be one of those people that don't know what to do. Right. Yeah. I mean, so that's a really important thing.
Give them the skills, give them the tools.
But to have that discussion, I think it's really important we assume that they know what we want. Right. And maybe some do, but nobody I've ever married has. So
yeah. Okay. Got to teach and learn and communicate. Joey, how about you? How does it work in your house?
Here's how it works. Here's my secret: is that Randy, my husband, is the best chef I've ever met. Ooh. Which is funny because I'm the nutritionist, so it's a good mix. Yeah. So Randy does all of the food. He doesn't like me to cook because he can just do it that much better, and he can. He makes food taste fantastic. So because he takes over that food role, that's such a massive role for me that I don't mind doing, and I'm a neat freak as well. I don't mind doing the laundry, and yes, I do have help as well, which is amazing. But the laundry, and I'm a major declutterer. So there's not that much stuff in my house because
come to mine?
I love decluttering. I would come to yours, and he's also nurse, which I know that sounds funny, but when our kids are sick, the other day Faith didn't feel good, and I was really trying, and for some reason he has it in him. She said to me, she's only 4. Just go get me, Daddy. Just get me, Daddy. I was like, I was dismissed. So he is amazing in that department too. So it works.
That is amazing. So these are sort of the rules that you've laid out, and it works really well together. And I think that is the best case scenario. He loves to cook and he wants to cook.
He wants to cook.
You embrace that, Joey. Oh, I think that's amazing.
I'm lucky.
All right, let's go to break. More coming up. Stay with us. So good. Now, we've talked a lot about things getting really busy when we get back to school and back to work, but we have to always worry about our stress levels. It's really awful for your health. So we thought we would talk about a few natural stress remedies, Joey, that you would suggest to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Adrenal fatigue is a big thing that we see in the clinic. People are over-secreting cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and cortisol secretion gets over-secreted from mild to moderate chronic stress. Who doesn't have that? Mild to moderate chronic stress. We're raising kids, working. Everybody has that to a certain degree. So you really have to take some time for you. I know it's easy to say, but you have to schedule it in. A few things for natural stress-free living. Get rid of the caffeine. In honor of doing that all day long. Today's my first day without coffee in honor of the show. I'm not loving it, but if you are having anxiety or stress, do that.
Do decaf, maybe fool yourself.
Do decaf.
Into, you still have the flavor.
You still have the flavor. Exercise. There is nothing for lowering stress response like a good cardiovascular workout.
I agree.
Taking some alone time. I've started to wake up an hour before my kids so I can just have that alone, cortisol lowering, listen to your iPod, just some time by yourself to bring down stress response. Cortisol's supposed to be highest in the morning and then go lower throughout the day. Unfortunately, we have flipped that because we live such a stressful life, so our cortisol levels are raising at the end of the day, and we're seeing it as stored belly fat in the tummy area because of cortisol release.
Right.
Supplements can help as well. So a good multivitamin with vitamin C in there is very, very good for stress response. I've also brought an herb called Relora and Rhodelia.
Okay.
Rhodelia is it's called a adaptogen. What it does is it helps the body relax and it helps the body with stress naturally. These are amazing, but I also want to see people clean up their diet. Refined flours, sugars, inflammatory foods, they're irritant and they're only going to raise your stress response. The other thing, spend time outdoors. I know if even city living, go to a park. It is amazing how it brings down your cortisol response. If your cortisol response is elevated, no problem, but don't let it get out of hand. We don't want to go into a complete adrenal burnout because that can take a little time to fix.
And what happens if you do go into a complete adrenal burnout? Like, what are the symptoms that you are getting close to that?
Weight gain, irritability, intense anxiety, lack of sleep. We've seen people lose hair, skin breakouts. Like you can tell.
Exhaustion.
Exhaustion. You can get your cortisol levels tested through your MD. You can get salivary, you can get urine, you can get blood analysis done.
It can interfere with ovulation too, right?
Absolutely.
So people will stop getting their periods. So we see this a lot.
Okay, so that's why they always say when you're trying to have a baby, they say, relax, chill out, don't be stressful. I hate hearing that. Oh my gosh, that's stressing me out that you just told me to stop stressing.
It's hard to tell someone to relax when their anxiety level is what it is, and our society is not very conducive to rest and relaxation.
Yeah.
But it takes active effort to relax, which sounds funny, but it does.
I was just going to say, you have to be really intentional about it.
That's right.
When I schedule in workouts, I'm very intentional about it, and it seems really crazy, but I need that in order to be a nice mom when my kids wake up.
And that's why I have to walk outside. We take our dog and we walk in the forest because the research shows that actually you're surrounded by nature, you actually do feel better. So the double whammy is like 30-40-minute walk, you know, in the park, in the forest, and we have lots of green space, you know, all over the place, especially in big cities. In Toronto, we're very lucky, Vancouver. So that makes a big difference. And if I didn't exercise, I would probably kill people.
My patients tell me I'm crazy. I exercise at 5 o'clock in the morning, but it's
and it makes you feel good. Okay, we gotta go. So, you know, chill out, just relax, don't stress. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.